Let's talk solar. Many properties now in California have energy efficient systems on their homes, like solar panels, because they want to save money on their electric bill. Now, when you have a sale transaction, I want to explain to you through title what will be required depending on how they finance them. So depending on how your homeowner financed their solar panel systems will determine what title requires to close your transaction and how easy, simple, or difficult it might be. Now, there's basically two major ways that people do this. They either purchase them outright or they finance them. Now, if they purchase them outright, nothing's gonna show up on title. There's nothing that you need to worry about. It won't be an issue. If they finance them, there's two common ways that they do this. So one is the Hero PACE government funded programs. I'm not a big fan of this program, and I'm sure most of you aren't either. The reason why these are kind of a bigger issue is because they're funded by the government, but they're paid by the homeowner through their property taxes over a period of time. So they end up having priority over a loan. So basically, if you have a buyer that wants to buy this property and they're using a loan to purchase the property, a lender is not going to agree to lend to them if there's a Hero lien, a Hero PACE lien on this property. So in a sale transaction with a Hero PACE lien on the property, it has to be paid in full. So the seller is going to have to pay it in full, or possibly the buyer can come in all cash and purchase the property and assume it, but title will require them to sign off and approve it to show on their title policy. And if I'm a buyer, I'm not going to approve to do this, but technically that can happen. And the second way that you see very, very common, I see this most of the time, is when they do finance their solar panels, they do take out a solar loan. And when there's a lien on the property, what the solar company will do is they'll record a UCC financing statement, they'll record it on the property, and then they'll also record a notice of independent solar contract on the property as well. They just record this to secure their interest in that equipment because they technically still own that equipment, but it will show up on the preliminary title report, and the lender will not lend if these liens are a higher priority than them. So what normally happens is, and it's different between all solar companies, there's lots of solar companies out there now, most of them will do what we call a temporary termination. So they'll approve the new buyer, and then at closing, we'll record a termination for the UCC statement, a termination for the independent solar contract. We'll record that, it'll terminate off the seller's name, and then about 30 days later, they'll record new ones with the new buyer's names. So that's the most common thing that we do see. And same pretty much for a refinance transaction. On a refinance, the lender is going to want to be in first position. So we can either do a temporary termination, we can also subordinate, or we can issue an endorsement to endorse around it. Or if you work with me, we actually don't show solar items on our refinance transactions. Ask me if you have questions about that. But in a whole, that's everything you pretty much need to know regarding solar liens on a sale transaction or a refinance transaction. So if you have any questions regarding solar liens, and if you have a transaction that has a solar lien and you want to know what title will require to clear it and what's the easiest way to handle this, just let me know, give me a call. I'm happy to walk you through it. You know where to find me. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.